Welcome back to Tech Stack for all you tech enthusiasts. This is part 8 of our Angular 22 series. In this video, we'll learn about attribute directives, especially ngClass and ngStyle. We'll see how to dynamically apply CSS classes and styles to elements in our Angular application. Open the Pages folder in the integrated terminal. Run ngGC attribute directive to create the attribute directive component. This may take a little time, so be patient while Angular creates the component. The component has been created successfully. Open the attribute directive.ts file. We'll start adding our ngClass and ngStyle examples here. Add ngClass to the imports array. This allows us to use the ngClass directive in our template. We have an error, so click on the Quick Fix option and select Import. Angular will automatically add ngClass to our imports. Open attribute directive.html, remove the existing p tag, and add an h2 tag. Inside the h2 tag, add the text ngClass testing. Now, add square brackets and use ngClass inside them. This creates a property binding for the ngClass directive. Now, open attribute directive.ts and create a new variable. We'll use it to dynamically control the CSS class with ngClass. Create a variable called isActive. We'll use it to control the CSS class dynamically. Set isActive as a Boolean and give it the value false. Open attribute directive.html and use isActive with ngClass to control the class dynamically. Use the ternary operator with isActive. If it's true, we'll apply the Bootstrap text success class. Oops, we used the wrong operator. Let's use the ternary operator instead. Add text danger. This means if isActive is false, Angular will apply the text danger class. Open approutes.ts so we can add the route for our attribute directive component. Copy the existing route and paste it below. We'll modify it for our attribute directive component. Change the component to attribute directive, so this route will display our attribute directive component. Change the path to attribute directive, so we can access the attribute directive page using this URL. Open app.html so we can add the attribute directive link to our navbar. Copy the existing navigation item and paste it below. Update the router link to attribute directive so the navigation item points to our attribute directive page. Update the text to attribute directive so the navbar clearly shows the name of our new page. Run ng serve to start the Angular application and test our attribute directive page. Copy the URL and open it in the browser to test the attribute directive page. Click on attribute directive and you will see the text in red because isActive is set to false, so ngClass applies the text danger class. Before moving ahead, as you know, we've started our Angular 22 series from beginner to advanced. Learn practical skills to grow your development career. Subscribe and join the journey. Set isActive to true and test the application again. As you can see, the text is now green because isActive is set to true. Add ngStyle to the imports array so we can use the ngStyle directive in our template. Create a variable called isActiveUser so we can use it to control our styles dynamically. Set its data type to Boolean and its value to true, so the active user style will be applied. Open attribute directive.html and use the isActiveUser variable with ngStyle to apply styles dynamically. Add a div element. We'll use it to demonstrate ngStyle. Add the text ngStyle testing, so we can see the dynamic style applied to this element. Add square brackets and use ngStyle inside them to create the style binding. Add curly braces and use single quotes to define the style property and its value. Add the background color style property so we could dynamically change the background color. Use isActiveUser to control the background color dynamically. Add the ternary operator and set the color to green when isActiveUser is true. Otherwise, set the background color to red. Test the application and check the background color. Oops, it's not working. Let's check our code and find the mistake. Spelling of background color was incorrect. Let's fix it and test the application again. As you can see, the background color is now green because isActiveUser is set to true. Now, set isActiveUser to false and test the application again. As you can see, the background color is now red because isActiveUser is set to false. Now, create a function called toggle attributes so we can toggle the attribute values dynamically. Inside the function, set isActive to its opposite value using the not operator. Do the same for isActiveUser by toggling its value with a not operator. Open Attribute Directive.html and add a button so we can use it to toggle our attributes. Set the button text to toggle. Add event binding using click. This tells Angular to listen for the click event on the button. Use toggle attributes with the click event, so Angular will call this function whenever the button is clicked. Test the application. Click the toggle button and check whether the text color and background color change. As you can see, the attributes are working correctly. This is the end of Part 8. In this video, we learned about Attribute Directives, ngClass, and ngStyle. If you're passionate about learning new technologies, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tech Stack, and keep learning new skills. Thank you. And remember, consistency is the key to success.